All right. Well, Trump also moved swiftly on two other things here. He, as we mentioned, made anti-DEI federal policy official,
Yeah,
and he moved to
for
make
federal
two
government.
genders the official standpoint of the government, which really shocking to hear. What do you think the impact of that'll be?
I think it's going to harm a lot of young people,
Yeah.
especially. This is supposed to be an inclusive country. This is supposed to be a place where if that you get to choose your identity. And if that identity is they or them, if that identity is if you were born a biological male but you are a woman, then you get to do that here. There are other places in this world, other countries where you are murdered for that. I thought this was the land of the free.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm really disappointed in what he did. I'm already disappointed. And I'm disappointed that this country would allow it,
Yeah.
actually. I'm disappointed that this country would allow others to feel like they don't belong.
There feels like the outrage isn't there the way it was in 2016 in
Yeah.
general. Do you think that's going to stick, or do you think people are just recovering? And
I think people are recovering. I think the resistance is alive and well. I think people are regrouping. And I think when they see the pain that will be inflicted on their neighbors, not only economically, but just in all aspects of their lives, I think people will wake up and think, oh my goodness, what have I done? I do believe that. I believe in 2
you
years.
think people who voted for him are going to
Yes, I do believe that 100%. You've already had people, I think union workers that have said they felt bamboozled. Yeah, you were. And unfortunately, I think over the next 2 years at least, we're going to see a lot of, I just think, pain.
There's a
I'm not. I'm missing it. I'm genuinely missing it. Let's go back to the first part of the conversation where she said that I thought this was the land of the free. 100% is the land of the free. You are free to say what you want, which is one of the reasons why he signed an executive order that removes censorship. You are not free from consequences, but you are definitely free to say what you want. That's number one. The second thing is nobody is stopping you from sleeping with whoever you want to sleep with. And they want to compare this to these other countries that will punish you because you are disrespecting their cultural norms. And really, that's the issue here is that so many people have felt compelled and comfortable to be able to bring their culture or their lifestyle and then force it onto other people. Nobody is stopping you from being able to identify as whatever you want to identify as. It's just that you can't force me to want to identify you as what you think you are versus what you were born. I am always going to default to what God has ordained to be right, and that is there is a man and a woman. God never said, and I don't remember reading this in any part of the Bible, and if it is there, then y'all more than welcome to send it to me. But I've read the Bible a lot. I study it regularly. And one thing that I've never seen is that you can change from a boy to a girl or a girl to a boy, and that we need to recognize your pronouns. And this is the most reasonable place on the face of the earth in which it's saying that you can do whatever you want to do, but us as taxpayers, we shouldn't have to pay for it. We should not have to pay for transition surgery if you are a prisoner. We shouldn't have to pay for transition surgery, period. We should be protecting our children whose brains aren't even fully developed and be putting into them and educating them on the importance of embracing who you are and your masculinity. We should not be allowing for them to go and play in girls' sports so that they can dominate them. We should not be allowing for people to manipulate and say that you can then use a woman's bathroom if you're a man. And largely, obviously, she missed the boat, but the majority of the country actually voted for her. And when she says stuff like people don't realize and outrage, no, we know what we experienced over the last 2.5, 3, 4 years of all of the nonsense and the disillusion that they continue to do. And now we got a federal audit that allows for us to see where the money is going. And I think that those people need to be prosecuted even all the way up into the highest parts of the land, unless you 2014 got Biden pardoned for the things that you haven't even been charged for. However, the point is that people are not disillusioned. They voted for him back because they realized what he did the first time and they roll with it. I love the fact that he's putting tariffs on aluminum and steel products of people that are trying to dump cheap steel and cheap aluminum into the United States of America in order to continue to protect jobs. I talk to the people that's in the steel plant. I worked in the steel plant. I still have friends that are in the steel plant. I actually called somebody on a live stream that works in a steel plant. I have a lot of friends that still work in the steel mill. I go and visit places like Gary, Indiana, and Pittsburgh, and I talk to the people on the ground. So you can't tell me that a woman that is this far removed can sit here and give us her soliloquy about what the people are saying. I know what the people are saying on the ground, and even the ones that didn't vote for Trump, which the majority of them did, even the ones that didn't vote for him, says that he saved their industry, which ultimately allowed for them to save their jobs. Now, if they just decide that they want to get on code with black women and just go against them regardless, then that's on them. But you're not going to sit here and finesse me and think that I'm going to go with stop, all lies, all cap.
A lot of, I just think pain.
There's people who think that the reason he's announcing so many things at once is so everyone kind of gets overwhelmed by it and can't go through these things one by one.
We're going to go through
I'm sure the view was going to go through all of it. One thing I wanted to ask you about as our resident legal expert.
Yes.
The executive order he passed or he wrote on ending birthright citizenship.
He can't do that.
This is immediate. This seems to be completely, and I have no idea about anything.
It's in the Constitution.
It seems to run directly across the Constitution.
When you take the oath of the office of the president, you take the oath to uphold the Constitution. Just like I was a federal prosecutor, I took an oath to uphold the Constitution. You can't uphold the Constitution by trying to gut one of the constitutional amendments. It's the 14th Amendment. It's enshrined in the document.
Right.
And it's funny that she says that, right? Because if you're the resident legal expert, then that means that you would know that that was designed for slaves, for people that were brought here against their will that helped build up this country. And I'm no person that likes to run in the Victim Olympics, but I believe that birthright citizenship was entitled to them because it was something that they didn't voluntarily participate in. It's something that they were forced into. And so the freeing of slaves also came with birthright citizenship because it allowed for them to be able to realize the American dream without being deported back to the country where they came from because they were stolen in the first place, or rather sold in the first place. But the point is that you can't then finesse something that was meant for something else and try to justify it by saying, well, it was in the Constitution. Why was it put in the Constitution as an amendment in the first place? Well, we know why. But now you have people that are flying over here pregnant and people that are intentionally having children inside of the United States of America only to be able to get citizenship and then perhaps maybe not get deported, but you still got to go. And if you want to keep your family together, then take your kids that you had here with you. And that's your responsibility because you never should have came over here illegally and tried to finesse the system. And so they don't want to add the context, and they think that we stupid, and they think that their titles is supposed to mean something to us. But in reality, all they doing is finessing. And there's not one good thing that I've seen Sonny Hostin or any of the View contestants, because they are competing to see who was the most crazy when it comes to these liberal policies. I haven't seen one thing that they've ever said that he's done well, even though they benefit from it. And also pay attention, because you know that they never going to talk about all of the fraud, all of the waste, all of the stuff that's really happening. They avoid those subjects, but they only focus on the things that they think is going to make sense in the eyes of all of the lunch ladies that watch it on a daily basis. Be aware. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Also, Teach Henley, 40% off your first order plus 20% off for life. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you later. Peace.